Man United 2, Aston Villa 1. Where Douglas Luiz there? If I'm Leon Bailey, I want to be in that Aston Villa change room talking to her. Say, yo, we just see a look at Douglas Luiz and I lean back and I forward and a Douglas. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all with a Douglas and a Douglas. Where am there? Hey, Leon, talk to how are you? Douglas. Short the fear, Douglas. Hold that. Yes. Douglas Luiz giving it all this ting-a-ling-a-ling and all them tick. Move. Yes. I'm gassed, man, because you know what? It's been so long since we've had like an away win at one of the tougher grounds, at one of the bigger grounds, one of the bigger teams. It just hasn't happened for us. So I'm over the moon. We won it. we didn't do it easy, just like everything. But it's about building momentum, man. That's what it's about. Like I said, we had to go there and win today. And before the game, I said, I don't care how it happens. I don't care what happens in the game. We can have the dissection afterwards. We can have the inquest afterwards. But we have to get 3 points. Like Ten Hag said, all these games are cup finals. And last time I checked, a cup final, all not have to do it for win. Yeah? That's it. That's it. Just win. Now, yes, there's bigger problems. Because listen, the way the game went, first 20 minutes, really good. Get 1-0 up. And Villa had a lot of chances. And on a different day, if Villa were more clinical, 100% would have been on the end of a bad result. But that didn't happen. And you have to ride your luck and you have to believe that you can create another moment after a setback, which is what they did. Let me get straight into the players that I'm going to praise right now. Andre Onana. I'm just going to start from back to front and do it sequentially, right? Andre Onana, like, it wasn't that he made fantastic saves, like out of this world saves, which is kind of maybe an indictment of where he's coming from. It was more of that he just didn't do anything wrong and make sure he did everything right. That was asked of him. And that is, do the basics right, hold on to the ball when you need to hold on to the ball, come claim a couple of crosses, some couple of good saves, the one from McGinn where he puts that round the post, and the one where he has to come out and clatter into Dalot and make sure he makes a 1v1 save versus Ollie Watkins, who's, you know, we know how good he is. So he done his job. I really liked what he did. Going to right back, Dalot was phenomenal. Dalot's defending now, I'll be honest. And you know I love Wambi. I've said it so many times, but I'm starting to forget. I'm starting to just think about Wan-Bissaka less. And that's no disrespect to Wambi. Love him. And we're going to probably need him, especially now Luke Shaw might be injured. So listen, I'm not saying like just discard him, but I'm saying it in testament to Dalot in terms of he's basically saying, remember why I'm the right back who has the 5-year deal. This is why I'm the one they've given the contract to. He's getting it. He's playing physically. He's winning his duels. He got an assist today. We've asked for more from him to get more balls in the box and get more creative. He scored some goals this year. And mainly, like, I'm just not, like Hayley said it in her fan view, like, you're just not worried when he's there. You know, and it was only this season when we played against Galatasaray, he let the ball bounce and Wilfried Zaha put him on his ass. And we were like, see, this is what we mean about Dalot. And he's put that behind him and he's in a really good run of consistent form. And I know he's had a bit of a bumpy time, but actually overall for the season, he's probably been he has been one of our best players. Harry Maguire. All the talk about who's going to partner Varane or is Varane even going to play? Is it going to be Maguire and Lindelof, Maguire and Evans and Varane, etc., etc.? One good thing about Harry Maguire, you have to say, is that this season, when called upon, he has delivered. It's as simple as that. Yes, in the summer, he was looking like he was going to be out the door, being ridiculed on social media. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes biting back a little bit, and you can see he was a little bit rattled. But what's he done? Got his head down, been professional, and said, listen, I back myself that there's either going to be injuries or the manager's going to need me. And when that opportunity comes, I'm going to take it and I'm going to perform. And he was first in near enough every area today, according to Sky, which is why he got the man of the match. And there were other candidates, but I can't argue with that. With Harry Maguire, you know, with how well he played. I may have not given him the man of the match, but he was absolutely brilliant. As was Varane, the ghost, the wraith, the phantom. Just cash, just easy. Header is clear, make a little foul when I need to, decent on the ball. Just steady, that's just what Varane does. Into midfield, I thought Kobe and Casemiro actually It's hard to say they did well, because you can say, well, we didn't really control the game, so maybe the midfield wasn't as good as it looked. But individually, I think they both had good moments at different periods of the game. Some of the passing that Kobbie displayed, some of the takes that he took to calm the ball down, balls in the air, outside of the boot, you know what I mean? Just to control it, wriggle out of a couple of situations, just the calmness that he brings and try to play forward. So I thought Kobbie was really good. Casemiro, unlucky to get a yellow card, and he's walking that tightrope. We're thinking, I'll tell you what, he's going to be in a bit of trouble, especially in the second half when the game got quite open. But he was helping out people. He was dropping into the back four to help us aerially, to help us clear things as well. A couple of good balls out to the right-hand side as well, as Villa plays so open, so he was good in transition. Bruno was a letdown out of the three for me. I thought he's still got a way to go, Bruno. We're just not seeing the same level of impact. Like, the goals have dried up for Bruno. The assists have dried up for Bruno. But his overall play just isn't where it needs to be. He's always going to be a tireless worker. He's always going to be a tireless runner. But I expect more from him. Marcus Rashford, I think, again, poor. Didn't, running into blind alleys. The decision-making he was doing, it didn't compute. It didn't compute. And even when Garnacho went over to that side, he looked more lively. He looked more like scoring than Rashford did for the whole time that he was on. And testament to Erik Ten Hag for taking him off as well, by the way, and making the change that he did do. I'll get to Ten Hag in a minute. And Rasmus, 5 alive. 5. I got 5 on it. And then you see the next game for him, it's going to be like Drake. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. That's what it's going to be, because he's going to get 6 goal against Luton. Because Rasmus is just on fire right now. I said he's going to score. I said he's going to get 5 alive. Said he's going to get 5 and 5. And it's so good to see him scoring those types of goal. A striker, a proper number 9. Someone who's going to sort of come in and say, you know what? This is what I want to be. I've got this whole club on my shoulders. And I shouldn't really have that on my shoulders right now at this age. You lot are supposed to allow me. You lot are supposed to make me come into this and ease my way into this. But you know what? Cool. You're not going to afford me that time to settle. First 14 games, couldn't hit a bundle. But I tell you what I'm going to do. Now I've found my feet. The second half of the season, I'm going to fire us to top 4. And that's how it feels he's performing right now. Alejandro Garnacho had some bright moments and some dull moments. Some moments where he picked the wrong option, some moments where the execution wasn't there. But what I like about Alejandro is that nothing stops him from working hard and nothing stops him from wanting the ball. And that puts fear into defenders. He keeps getting into good positions. And you felt like it was only a matter of time during that game where he would have, maybe scored or got an assist, and it didn't quite happen. But, he keeps wanting the ball and he's raw. Again, he's been fast-tracked. The guy for 80 million is supposed to be on that right-hand side, not him. Do you know what I mean? Rashford is supposed to be the one who's performing on the left-hand side and staying on for 90 minutes. Not Garnacho. Garnacho's had to go out to the right, not going quite well. Then he's had to stay on 90 minutes, go to the left. Like, the kid's got to do it all out of the wingers, because he's outperforming Anthony and he's outperforming Rashford. So you can't expect consistency from him every single game. And then Scott McTominay. Listen, we argued about it and we spoke about it. The bigger picture is this. I don't think people should convolute the two, right? When Marcel spoke about this. You can say that Scott McTominay has found his role within this squad as it stands right now without signing yourself up to say, I think we should give Scott McTominay a new contract. It's fine, we can win Premier Leagues with him. No, the two things are not the same. Both statements can coexist. Like, you can look at Scott McTominay and say, well, at the moment, you can't argue with stats. Like, argue with yourself. Like, the guy is our top scorer. So you can look at that A or B. You can say A, can't argue with that, and he's having an impact. Or B, fucking hell, Man United are in massive trouble if Scott McTominay is their top scorer. Yeah, we are in trouble, because look where we've been. But in terms of Erik Ten Hag finding a role for him, he's understood it. And that's where Erik Ten Hag deserves massive praise. He's looked at it and said, well, I'm not going to take off Kobbie Mainoo and just put in McTominay. I'm not going to take off Casemiro and just put in McTominay. I'm going to take off Rashford. I'm going to push Bruno further forward. I'm going to say to Scott, you know what? Do what you do best. Don't worry about build-up. Don't worry about defensive responsibilities. Even though you're a big lad, you can get back and you help out. But don't worry about us here in midfield. I've got Casemiro, who knows how to pass the football sometimes. And I've got Kobbie Mainoo, who's technically sound. And I'll keep Bruno on. Even that's a bit questionable, but I get it. Anthony's not going to do anything. And say, go get me a goal. Go get me a goal. What more do you want Erik Ten Hag to do? Did you want Amrabat to come on and get us a goal? Did you want flipping Johnny Evans to come on and get us a goal? Did you want Ericsson to come on and get us a goal? Did you want young Amari Forson with all of that on his shoulders? Or did you want the guy who's got the record this season for scoring the most goals from the bench, joint with João Pedro, and the most goals for our team to come on and win the game? And then actually do it. So in this moment, I don't know what more people want. The bigger conversation, the wider conversation, absolutely, of course, we can have a discussion about that. But I think within the 96 minutes at Aston Villa, at Villa Park, Scott McTominay played his role 10 out of 10. Come on and impact the game and get me a goal. All right, boss, I'll do it. Again, I've done it against Brentford. I've scored against Sheffield United. Last game I just played, I come off the bench. I robbed Calvin Phillips with the ball, gave it to Garnacho, saw the game out 3-0. Thanks. I'll do my job. So Erik ten Hag deserves praise for that. And lastly, just on us as a whole, I said, listen, in order to get top 4, we had to win today. That's now 6 points behind Spurs and 5 points behind Villa, I believe. And we are firmly in the mix. Luton's not going to be easy. Different type of challenge than it is today. They're going to have a low block. They're going to be physical. They're going to try and rattle us. We have to show a different type of skill set than we did today. But the same resilience and camaraderie still needs to be there. And I'm gonna back us to do it. My man of the match. Do you know what? I am going to give it to Dalot. I can see why Maguire got it, and fair play, can deserve it, no problem. But it could have been Rasmus, could have been Scott. But I'm going to give it to Dalot. I just love the consistency that he's performing at. So yeah, Douglas Luiz, shimmy, yeah.